Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Death Note. Last time on Death Note, we had Unraveling. What exactly happened last episode? The team of police was reduced to about 5 members, and they all met L, who is now going by the code name of Ryuzaki, so that, he doesn't, I guess his real name doesn't get out, something like that. And yeah, they started working on what they're going to do next with the Kira case. Meanwhile, the fiancé, or now ex-fiancé, of Ray Penber, Shotomaki, that was it, tried to get into contact with Chief Yagami, as she thinks she has some good insight onto the Kira case as to, can Kira kill without using a heart attack and stuff like that. She basically figured a lot of stuff out. And unfortunately, the person that she ended up telling this to was Light himself. So now we have the big question of how is Light going to deal with Shotomaki? So yeah, that's basically it. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. And this is also where I say, if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Death Note, unfortunately it's not in this video due to copyright reasons. So if you want to watch it, you can go down in the description of this video or to the pinned comment. There's a nice little link. It'll take you to my nice little reaction, with all the footage, and it's all nice and good. You can go, you can watch that, you can have a good time. Presumably you can have a good time. I guess I'm making an assumption about how good my videos are. But you can go, hopefully have a good time, and when you're done with that, you can hop on over back here to this YouTube video so that you can watch the discussion, because it's always good to watch the discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into this episode of Death Note. Here we go. Damn it, man. That sucks. That sucks, man. Oh, I really liked her. Don't fucking give your information. He's such a convincing liar. Like, he's so convincing. Because he just puts on that, innocent high schooler tone. But see, I thought it was a bit of a stretch that... saying that he was part of the investigation, but, I mean... I guess it can make sense, The lie can work. Obviously, it did work, because, when they first met at the task force, the receptionist was like, "Oh yeah, hey Light, you helping out again? Like the friggin' the last case you solved." So the lie obviously can work. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's like every time, twice now in 7 episodes, he's revealed that he is Kira. Immediately, obviously immediately when someone dies, when he kills them. Alright. Let's go over the notes that I've got. Hold up. There. My hood was looking a little weird there. Oh well. I know, I'm a little chilly. This looks a bit bigger on me than normal. Probably because I still have the overshirt on. Meh. It looks alright. Oh boy. So this is the first time he actually screwed up. He legitimately screwed up. Well, I mean, I guess technically the first time he tried killing L, he screwed up killing someone, but he still killed that person. He still killed Lindell Taylor. This time he wrote down a name and it didn't work. And Ryuk has been laughing this whole time because he knows that that she gave an alias because he can see her name. That's why he's been laughing all along. He's just been laughing at Light's failure. So yeah, Shoko Maki, not her real name. I did not catch what her name was at the end. I don't think I have to really remember it now. I'm just going to keep calling her Shoko. So yeah, so he blew it at first. He did blow it. I thought that was kind of interesting, because I was kind of thinking like, okay, he was going for the suicide so that, it wouldn't be so obvious. Although he went for the suicide specifically hanging. It's like, I don't know, I feel like there's other ways you could have done that. It's like, why was there just a noose hanging like upstairs? I don't know. But see, I was kind of thinking like, I don't know, I guess, the thought crossed my mind is like, okay, well, maybe you can't force someone to do what they wouldn't really do. Maybe, but that doesn't make sense. They've established he can basically control them as long as it's within the human limits, basically. He can command anyone to kill themselves, but he can't command someone to fly from Japan to Paris in an hour. That's not possible. So yeah. So I was trying to figure it out, but then he figured it out that she was using an alias. Shokomaki was an alias because she didn't fully trust him yet. Well, mostly because Ray had to give out his ID to someone and then he ended up dying. He basically gave his ID to Kira, which he did. So I guess this sort of drives away suspicion towards Light now. I guess? I don't know. It all depends on where L is in his investigation. Because that's the thing is, Shoko figured all this out without really, being a part of the investigation. She just kind of caught it all through, what she saw. So you would think that L would kind of come to the same conclusions. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, very interesting that he actually failed to kill Shoko. And hey, it was actually, good for him to take that piece of paper from the Death Note with him, so he could kill on the fly. It does make me wonder how much paper does the Death Note actually have? Excuse me. Like, is it a limited amount of paper? He needs to worry about that. He needs to be careful how much he uses, because if he wants to go, his entire natural life, he's only got maybe that much, and of course it's the DVD, but still. But he's only got so much paper he has to work with. So, yeah, he needs to be careful with that. But not only did we get that Shoko was using an alias, but also that everyone is now going to be using an alias because L knows that Kira needs a name and a face, basically. So that's why he's using Ryuzaki, and they're all going to have brand new names, so that they're not quite so like. So basically, Kira could get their face, but not exactly their names per se. And I would imagine they would try to change police records to change the names to an alias, to their aliases. The only issue that they don't realize, but the only issue would be Chief Yagami, because obviously Light knows his name. So yeah, that would be interesting to see if Light actually has to kill his father, basically. You know, he might. Light may actually have to kill his father. Like, I wonder if that would take an effect on him or not. Maybe. I wrote down the spy belt. That was kind of interesting. You know, a belt that basically, so L will be able to know their location at all times, which is good. And also, if they tap twice on the belt buckle, then that will immediately call Watari, and he will call them back, basically. But his number will not display on their phone, and that's how they can relay information, basically, which is good. So basically, they're not calling him, and his number won't be able to show up on their phones, which is another, basically level of security. So that was interesting. This next part is not really plot related. Just something stylistically that they do. I notice a lot they changed Light's hair a number of times to be red, and his eyes to be red as well. Now in the intro we see both Light and L, and their hair is sort of an exaggerated color. Light's hair being red and L's hair being blue. Whereas when you actually get into the show, Light's hair is brown, L's hair is black. So, I just thought that was something they did for the intro, just something stylistically. But I see that's like when he becomes more Kira. Like when he becomes more Kira, basically, and his inner thoughts, they really show him, getting into that mentality, even though he's in that mentality all the time. But it's when we really start to see into his head, we hear his thoughts and stuff, they highlight that specifically by showing the red hair. I thought that was just an interesting stylistic approach to that. Makes me wonder if they would do that for L, but I don't see why they would, honestly. I don't know. But it was interesting. And then the last thing I wrote down was the suicide. So he did specifically make it to where, she doesn't just, die right then and there, and it's like, oh, hey, Light was there when she died. It's like, no, he did do it to where it wouldn't be so obvious, and he even rationalized it out as like, well, they'll just think that, the death of Rei basically drove her to suicide. So that kind of sucks. That is a horrible end for Shokomaki. Name not final. That does suck. I did like her. I liked her like more than Ray Penber. I mean, Ray Penber was okay. He was just kind of there. He got into a thing, and then like he didn't get like much time to really, I don't know, do his job. Basically, he basically got dragged around by Kira. Whereas Shoko, I love like getting into her like mindset basically, and how she figured everything out about Kira. And honestly, because this presented the first big challenge for Light. Like, he was panicking. He had to really improvise to account for the fact that she had an alias. And he was under time constraints, because if she got back to the police department, it wouldn't take long for them to figure out it's him. So, yeah. So that was all very interesting. I liked seeing like a panic on Light, basically. So yeah, that's basically all I got for this episode. Do we have a question going into the next episode? I don't really think so. Maybe like, how will... I don't know, it doesn't quite set up like what do we need to do like next episode, because like right now Light's just kind of back to where he was before this whole Ray Penber thing started, he's kind of back to that, but I don't know, we don't exactly have like, okay, What is Light going to be doing? We don't exactly have, what is the investigation going to do next? So I guess those are our questions. Technically, what happens next? Nothing really specific, I guess. Like, what's Light going to do about Shoko or Rei and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens next. So yeah. But that is pretty much it. Good episode all around, and that's pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Death Note reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.